Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanzong. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 13th of August. Lashkar terrorists neutralised in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Doha meet on Afghanistan says Taliban won't get legitimacy if they come by force. And Nepal conducts mask up campaign amid rising COVID-19 cases in country. And now for all the details. A terrorist belonging to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit was neutralised by security forces in a gunfight in Kulgam district of India's Jammu and Kashmir territory on Friday. A senior police official said it is being suspected that he was about to carry a big attack as the incident comes ahead of the country's Independence Day celebrations on August 15.
Security forces neutralized a terrorist belonging to Pakistan-based LET Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit in an encounter in Kulgam district of India's Jammu and Kashmir territory on Friday. The encounter began after terrorists fired upon security personnel on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. The security forces retaliated and a terrorist identified as Usman was gunned down. AK-47 rifle, magazines and a rocket-propelled grenade were also recovered from the site. Inspector General of Jammu and Kashmir Police Vijay Kumar said the incident shows he was about to carry a big attack.
आज मॉर्निंग में जब सर्च किया गया तो एक पाकिस्तानी टेररिस्ट जो उस्मान कहा जाता है पिछले 6 महीना से एक्टिव था, उसका डेड बॉडी मिला है और वहां से बहुत सारे सामान मिला है। AK-47 मैगजीन, ग्रेनेड, RPG-7 का जो रॉकेट लॉन्चर ग्रेनेड मिला है और ये इंसिडेंट शो करता है कि कितना बड़ा हादसा करने वाला था।
This comes ahead of India's annual Independence Day celebrations on August 15, prior to which security forces across the country get more vigilant to counter any possible security threats. India has long accused Pakistan aids terrorists to mount attacks on Indian soil. Pakistan, however, denies the charge.
Flood situation in parts of India's northern Uttar Pradesh continued to be grim on Friday as major rivers flowed above the danger mark following heavy rainfall. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath conducted an aerial survey in affected areas and assured all possible help. Meanwhile, a major landslide occurred in Lahaul and Spiti district in the hill state of Himachal Pradesh on Friday, which blocked the flow of the Chenab river in the region.
Flood situation in parts of India's northern Uttar Pradesh state remained grim on Friday as river Ganges and the Yamuna flowed above the danger mark following heavy rainfall in recent days. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Friday conducted an aerial survey of the flood-hit areas in Ghazipur district and assured all possible assistance. Relief and rescue operations have been underway since the past 1 week across 24 districts of the state affected due to the floods, which have inundated several villages and low-lying areas. Authorities said people are being moved to relief camps where they are being provided food and medical help. Meanwhile, a major landslide in Lahaul and Spiti district in the hill state of Himachal Pradesh on Friday blocked the flow of the Chenab river. No loss of life or property had been reported in the Friday's incident till the last reports came in, but officials said people in nearby villages were being evacuated.
Participants at the Doha meetings on Afghanistan in a final outcome document called on both the Afghan government and the Taliban to accelerate the peace process and an immediate end to the ongoing violence in the country. They sent a message to the Taliban that they shall not recognize any government in Afghanistan that is imposed through the use of military force. Meanwhile, faced with unexpectedly rapid military gains by Taliban, the United States has decided to scale down its embassy in Kabul and sent about 3,000 troops temporarily to aid the evacuation of staff. Participants at an international meeting on Afghanistan in Doha agreed on the need to accelerate the Afghan peace process and call for an immediate end to the ongoing violence in the country. Head of the High Council for National Reconciliation, Abdullah, who also attended the meeting, said, "In the Doha meetings on Afghanistan, the participants made it clear that Afghan issue has no military solution and they shall not recognize any regime taking over by force. The participants committed to assisting in the reconstruction of Afghanistan once a viable political settlement is reached, following good faith negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Taliban insurgents tightened their grip on Afghanistan on Friday, wresting control of its second and third biggest cities, while Western embassies prepared to send in troops to help evacuate staff from the capital, Kabul. The capture of the second biggest city of Kandahar in the south and Herat in the west after days of clashes are a devastating setback for the government as the deadly Taliban insurgency turns into a rout of the security forces. Meanwhile, faced with unexpectedly rapid military gains by the Taliban, the United States decided on Thursday to dramatically scale down its embassy in Kabul and sent about 3,000 troops temporarily to aid the evacuation of staff.
We are further reducing our civilian footprint in Kabul in light of the evolving security situation. We expect to draw down to a core diplomatic presence in Afghanistan in the coming weeks. In order to facilitate this reduction, the Department of Defense will temporarily deploy additional personnel to Hamid Karzai International Airport.
The State Department said Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke to Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Thursday and told him the United States remains invested in the security and stability of Afghanistan in the face of Taliban violence. In news from Pakistan, Pakistani forces fired tear gas and clashed with stranded Afghans protesting at the Chaman border over the Taliban's closure of the border area on Thursday. The disturbances broke out after a 56-year-old Afghan traveller died of a heart attack as he waited in the dusty heat to enter Afghanistan via the Chaman spin boulder crossing.
Pakistani forces clashed on Thursday with hundreds of Afghans stranded on Pakistan's side of a commercially vital border crossing with Afghanistan after its closure by Taliban insurgents, Pakistani security officials said. The disturbances broke out after a 56-year-old Afghan traveller died of a heart attack as he waited in the dusty heat to enter Afghanistan via the Chaman spin boulder crossing, Arif Kakar, a Pakistani official on the scene, told Reuters. Protesters carried his body to a local Pakistani government office, demanding the border to be reopened. Some began throwing stones at security forces, who responded by firing tear gas and charging the protesters with batons to disperse them. No injuries were reported.
داسې مسافر اوس لیدل کېږي چې یعنې هغه خرچه چې دوی لري هغه یې ټوله نن خلاصه سوې ده ټوله ایسته سوې ده خلاصه سوې ده نن دې ته ولاړ دي چې به په دې ځای کې په یو چرۍ کې پروت یم یا به د یو سایې لاندې یا به د یو موټر د سایې لاندې هغه یو ګړی کښېني موټر ځینې ځي ګوره دلته تکلیفات ډېر
The Chaman spin boulder crossing is landlocked Afghanistan's second busiest entry point and main commercial artery to the Pakistani sea coast. The Taliban, who captured the crossing last month as part of a major advance across Afghanistan as US-led foreign forces withdraw, announced its closure on August 6 in protest at a Pakistani decision to end visa-free travel for Afghans. The hardline Islamist Taliban are demanding Pakistan allow Afghans to cross the frontier with either an Afghan ID card or a Pakistani-issued refugee registration card. Opening the border with Pakistan for visa-free travel would not only help the Taliban curry favor from ordinary Afghans but also shore up a route to areas of Pakistan that have housed Taliban fighters and some commanders. Western capitals and the Kabul government say Pakistani support to the Taliban continues and many of its leaders enjoy safe haven in the country, something Islamabad denies.
More on news from Pakistan. Pakistan's COVID-19 response chief has said that the July 25 assembly poll in Pakistan-administered Kashmir acted as a super spreader event as the country struggles to contain a fresh wave of infections.
Pakistan's Planning Minister Asad Umar, who also heads NCOC, the National Command and Operations Center, the COVID-19 response body, said on Thursday that the July 25 assembly election held in Pakistan-administered Kashmir acted as a super spreader event as the country struggles to contain a fresh wave of infections. Umar, in a tweet, said he had recommended that the election be postponed for a couple of months. However, it was not agreed. He blamed leaders of opposition parties of holding mass gatherings despite the spike in cases. Pakistan as of Friday reported 1,089,913 confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 24,266 deaths so far. Health authorities have said the virus is spreading fast despite ramping up the vaccination drive this month. The NCOC had reportedly written a letter to the Chief Election Commissioner to delay the election, stating that large political gatherings could lead to further spread of the virus in the illegally occupied region. However, the proposal was not accepted while major opposition parties including the PMLN, the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the Pakistan People's Party had also opposed the idea. Soon after the poll, PMLN Vice President Maryam Nawaz, who campaigned for her party, also tested COVID-19 positive.
Nepal this week conducted a public campaign to encourage citizens to wear masks while COVID-19 cases in the country continue to rise. As part of the initiative, Nepal Police also educated people about the need to wear masks and distributed more than 10,000 free masks every day on an average. Nepal conducted a mask-wearing campaign this whole week amid rising COVID-19 cases and the death toll crossing over 10,000. The week-long campaign, which began on August 7 until August 13, was aimed at encouraging people to wear masks. The newly reconstructed Dharahara, a 22-story tall tower with national significance in capital Kathmandu, was also masked and displayed messages to raise awareness about masking up. As part of the initiative, Nepal Police also educated those who did not wear a mask about the need of wearing one and distributed more than 10,000 free masks every day on an average across the country. Similarly, health workers and civil society members, among others, also promoted the importance of wearing masks.
मोटिभेसन कसरी मान्छेहरुले चाहिँ मास्क लगाउनु हुन्छ र कसरी मान्छेहरु बढी भन्दा बढी मान्छेले मास्क लगाइदिनुहोस् जसले गर्दाखेरि कोरोनाको संक्रमण चाहिँ कम भन्दा कम होस् भनेर चाहिँ हामीले मास्कको अभियानलाई चाहिँ विशेष पहल गर्नेछौं.
Meanwhile, authorities have said 15% of Nepal's population has got first dose of the COVID-19 jab, while the government on Monday launched inoculation drive for those above 65 years of age for the second dose of vaccine. Nepal as of Friday reported over 725,760 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 10,220 deaths so far. Hindu devotees in parts of northern India on Friday celebrated Naag Panchami or snake festival amid coronavirus pandemic. They fed milk to snakes and worshipped them on the auspicious occasion, while they also gathered in temples to offer prayers.
Thousands of Hindu devotees in parts of northern India fed milk to snakes and queued outside temples to worship them as they celebrated Naag Panchami or Snake Festival amid coronavirus pandemic on Friday. Naag Panchami is celebrated every year on the 5th day of the fortnight leading to the full moon during the monsoon month of Shravan, according to Hindu calendar. On this auspicious day, women devotees offer milk to snakes and take their blessings to keep evil forces at bay and protect their families from them. Snake charmers were seen sitting outside temples and waiting for devotees to come and worship snakes.
इस वर्ष जो है कोविड की वजह से जो विगत कई वर्षों से होता चला आ रहा कार्यक्रम वो अब की शासन प्रशासन की अनुमति के बिना जो है ना हो करके जो वार्षिक 56 भोग एवं विशाल प्रभु नागेश्वर का श्रृंगार जो होता है उसकी अद्भुत घटा सभी भक्तों को शिव भक्तों को दिखाई देगी.
Meanwhile, similar scenes were witnessed in Varanasi and Prayagraj cities of Uttar Pradesh state as temples were crowded with devotees who flouted social distancing and mask norms as they offered prayers. In central Ujjain city, priests performed rituals and offered prayers in a famous temple as they worshipped Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction and the serpent deity, to mark the auspicious occasion.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.